everybody, it's April D. Priest, and I'm here to talk about Couch to 5Ks with you. Before we get started, if you want credits for LMHF for the Wellness Program Part 2, you want to watch this video, the whole thing, don't skip through it because there's good stuff in it, and comment on the end with your name. Once LMHF confirms this, they'll delete it, your name will be removed. I'm going to talk about just getting started. Any of you who want to try to do a 5K this year for any reason, we're going to run through how to do that. So the journey begins with a single step. Why run, first of all? There are so many reasons why you might want to start running. I go places all the time when people just want to know, how do I get started doing this? You want to address your goals. Like maybe you want to run because you want to lose weight. Maybe you want to run because you want to just feel good. Maybe you want to go to 5Ks like lots of people do in Western New York and have a little party and make a little, make new friends. It's a great social atmosphere. We raise a lot of money for charities doing it. You might be fitter, stronger, happier, and you don't always just have to run. You can walk these things too. You sleep better, you have just more mental clarity. There's not enough good things that I can say about just running or walking even and getting involved in the community. So we're going to talk about how to get started, okay? So once you've decided that maybe this is a goal that you want in 2021, maybe you want to do a 5K, maybe you want to do a virtual one, or maybe sometime down the road, maybe this summer, we'll be able to actually partake in actual group events again. You can't just get up off the couch and just go run a 5K. I mean, that's would be ridiculous to expect that of yourself. So you want to start to learn how to schedule some daily exercise. If you've decided you're going to try for a 5K, you can't run every day. You have to give yourself time in your schedule to commit to 30 minutes a day of exercise. That's about how long you'll need to do something. You don't need to be running. You could be just walking. You could be doing a Zumba class. You could be doing any number of things, but you want to commit to that time for yourself, okay? Ultimately, this is kind of a gift to yourself, completing that 5K. Make it a priority. Put it in your planner. So you've got that resolution for just daily exercise. At first, you probably only want to run 2, maybe 3 days a week. You don't have to run the whole time. You could wind up just running for 1 minute of that session and walking the rest. It won't matter. You start where you are, ask your body what it can do, and then you do it. So once you've got it in your schedule, once you've decided you're going to commit to trying to run 2 days a week, you can start building from there. The other days, like I said, you could be walking, there's so many YouTube videos, you could be doing a bar class or a weight class, you could do Peloton, it doesn't matter. You're just keeping your heart working, because your heart is one of the best benefits that you'll get from deciding that you're going to start and becoming a runner. Your heart rate goes up. You're delivering lots of new oxygen and lots of blood to new parts of your body that maybe weren't getting a lot of attention before. So that feels really good, and you release a lot of endorphins, which help you to feel really good. So walking counts, yoga, Pilates, commit to something. Find something you like. Maybe make it a group thing. It won't, do it on Zoom together as a class. Figure out what you like. So that's the first thing. You just decide that you want to do it. You schedule it into your day, okay? So the 2 days, maybe the 3 days that you're going to walk and run, and the other days you pick something and you put that in your schedule. Make sure that you can fit it in there. So the actual running part, you really want to start slow and be patient with yourself, okay? Every day will be different depending on how you slept, maybe on, if you're a woman, where you are in your cycle, where you are in your years, what you ate last night. All these things will play a part in your ability to perform. And it's really not about your ability to perform, it's just about feeling good and waking up your body and, like I said, bringing in oxygen and getting stronger and getting better at balance, and all of those things. So you just sort of ask your body what it can do. So let's pretend it's our first day, we've never run before, and we're gonna go out and try to run a 5K. So it's your first day of running. What I want you to do is walk. You're gonna go out your door and just walk for at least 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. Get everything warmed up. Pay attention to your body. Think about how it feels. Am I tight here? Is something achy? Is something sore? Think about hitting the ground with your feet as softly as possible. Think about being strong through the middle and having a strong core and arms and legs like pistons. Okay, start that mental imagery. Breathe through your nose and not your mouth. I've been an athlete my whole life, and I remember a few years back reading a paper about how some people breathe all wrong, and I thought it was so silly. How can you breathe wrong when you're running? But it's actually true. If you start breathing through your mouth and letting your throat muscles take over, and we're breathing really shallowly, a bunch of things will happen. One, you're going to waste a lot of energy. You're going to get tight neck, tight shoulder muscles. Two, you're going to start dehydrating yourself because as you exhale, it's taking a lot of moisture from your mouth with you. So if you can breathe through your nose and take that air deep into your belly, start by walking. You're already training yourself to sort of calm down and just sort of go with the flow. So breathing through your nose, walking softly, picking up the pace when your body warms up and is ready for it. Okay, so that's where we are. We're 5-10 minutes in, we're feeling good, breathing through our nose. If you're with a friend, you can chat with your friend and you should be able to talk in sentences, but not sing an opera. Okay, so we're at that kind of pace. And now if you're ready, you can try to start a little jog. And let's jog for about 30 seconds. And then walk. And you want to walk for at least twice as long as you were jogging if it's your first day. So if you run for 30, if you're jogging for 30 seconds, let's walk for 1 to 2 minutes. You know, breathing through your nose, calming down, watching that heart rate come down. And as you're picking it up, as you're jogging before this, you'll notice your heart rate starts to increase. Your breathing starts to quicken. When this happens, stay calm, bring the air to your belly, and just, focus on those soft, easy steps and staying comfortable. Moving through the hips, just be in your body, okay? This isn't a time to, think about it, the 19 other things you have to do today. This is a time for you to connect with your body. Now we've run for 30, we jogged for up to 2 minutes. If you don't feel like you're ready to pick it up and jog again, don't. Wait, just keep walking until your body's ready to go again. If you've only run one time for 30 seconds in that walk or run that you're doing, so what? You did it. And maybe next time you'll be able to go twice. But if you're able to, after a minute or two, to jog again for 30 seconds, you just keep that up. Maybe the first day you start with being out for a 10-minute warm-up and a 10-minute walk run. 20 minutes, that's great. And then maybe you finish up with a 5 to 10 minute just easy cool down and walk, or maybe you just stretch. You find what works for you. That's the name of the game. So I'm going to have us talk about starting slow. Before we even get out there and we start that run, we kind of want to warm our bodies up a little bit. So I kind of told you how to do the run part, but I'm going to tell you about those few minutes before you just walk out the door to walk and run. We're going to do a few stretches and I'll show you them. They're not in the slideshow, but I'm going to show them to you, and then maybe you can like save this video and you can always come back to it and just watch these sort of simple warm-up stretches. So the first thing that you'll see professional runners do are just high knees. But to keep us safe, you want to make sure that if you don't feel comfortable bringing your knees up high with nothing to touch. You can bring a chair over, or you can do this at a wall or a counter. So you've got a chair in front of you, and we're just going to high knees so that we're not worried about falling. Think about elongating through the spine, using these hip muscles to pull your legs up, and notice you start to get a little warmer. Our breathing is quickening. After about 30 seconds of that, maybe we'll do some toe swipes. So these are some of my favorites. We're going to do the same thing. If you need to touch something for balance, it's there. I'll move the chair just to make sure you can see me. And we're going to bring one foot forward. This knee is soft. This knee is soft. I'm just going to shift my hips back and swipe through that toe. Come back to standing nice and tall. Swipe through the toe, and we'll do that 10 times on each side. So when I go to the other side, touch something for balance, swipe through that toe. And you should start to feel all the muscles in the back of the thigh, through the calf, just start to elongate and get ready to sort of propel you down the road. We'll look at some butt kicks. So these are going to start to get a little bit faster. So butt kick exercises are great. So we did high knees, and that's good just to warm up those muscles that are going to bring you, help with your turnover. And that just means the quicker your turnover is, the faster you are, if you care about something like that. But it's important because it'll keep you from tripping over things. And it'll make it easier for you if you see a bump or a crack in the sidewalk to evade that. So after that, we're going to try butt kicks. And so this warms up our hamstrings. So we just stretch them, and now we're going to make them work again. So all you're going to do is touch something for balance if you need to, and kick yourself in the butt. If your heel doesn't go all the way up there, that's perfectly fine. Just go as far as you're comfortable going. It's all about accepting and kind of being joyful about where you are and this great thing that you're doing for your body. After that, let's do a couple of leg swings. So that exercise, I'm going to bring the chair because I want you to see it. You'll see high school runners do this all the time. And it's kind of great. It feels good. And what we're really looking at doing is just warming up the sides of our hips. So you're going to start by taking one leg in, like this. You can touch the floor if you need to for balance, and then swing it out. Let it fall back. And that's all we're doing. Just open up the hip, swing it out, bring it back. And I would do maybe 10 on each side. You'll feel your glutes working to lift your leg up, and that's great. It might feel a little bit hard, but it's not as bad as running. So I shouldn't say that. It's warming you up and getting you ready for running. After leg swings, I would do just a few exercises for posture. So if we are weekend warriors, which I am, and we sit at a desk a lot, or because we're in the time of a pandemic, you're in front of your computer a lot, and we have this posture. And if you start to run in this posture, it can really mess you up in a lot of ways. So we want to use this as an opportunity to practice good posture. So a few great stretches for that are just some T-spine rotations. So what you can do is take a chair or anything. If you're outside already, you can use your steps. It won't matter. We're just going to put your hands right down on that surface and walk your knees up towards it so that they don't shift. So if you can, bring your knees right up. We'll take one hand behind your head and look up at the ceiling as far as it will go. And you should just feel a gentle opening through your chest, and you should feel your back muscles working. Just gonna make sure I don't lose my slide. So we'll do maybe 10 of those on each side. If that becomes sort of easy for you, we can make this more of a runner's exercise. So if you're up for it, let's start by taking the left leg back, right hand behind the head, look up, come back to center, hand down, leg back. And then you'll switch sides. So right leg back, left hand behind the head, reach up, back to center, feet together. So those are some of my favorite exercises for posture. The last one I will show you is probably the most important. The forward head that we get from everything that we do. Our cars put us into that position. It really causes a lot of issues with the neck and our upper back, and then consequently our lower back. So we don't want to have this forward head position. It'll actually make your balance worse if you're running. So you want to practice pushing your chin in and sitting up tall, and it probably looks like I have a double chin, but you're just in this position. So pull back. You should feel maybe a little bit of a release throughout your neck and cervical spine, and even through your upper spine. You might feel like just some release because those muscles are not working so hard to hold you up. They're not being overstretched. So that's a great thing to just practice before you start to run, so you can remember not to run from here. You're running with a proud chest and you're nice and tall. So now that we've talked about just a few warm-ups so that everything's ready to go, you're gonna walk for 5 to 10 minutes, get everything warmed up. We're not gonna force yourself, throw yourself into a run. You're gonna start running, breathing through your nose, pulling the air to your belly, thinking about landing as softly as you can, scanning your body for anything that feels funny, and just trying to really enjoy the day. So that is your run. You run for maybe 30 seconds, walk for 1 to 2 minutes, or as long as you need to before you start again. And then you can build from there. There are so many apps that you can go to for help that, it would be silly for me to try and tell you all of them because we'd be here for 9 years. So from there, a lot of people ask me, well, what do I need? Do I need to buy any special gear? And the God's honest truth is no, you just need some good sneakers, and they don't have to be expensive. But I realize that a lot of people love shopping and they love stuff. So there are some things that you can buy that might make running outside a little more fun, a little more comfortable. And there are things that can maybe help you with some recovery. So I'm going to talk about those things. First of all, I would say you definitely want sunscreen. In the summertime especially, even out there now, it's a sunny day, I would put sunscreen on just to protect yourself. In the sort of out where I live, if you're going to run in the street, there are some things that you can get that will keep you safe, like reflective gear. So if you go to a Fleet Feet, or Runner's Roost is my favorite, you can get reflective little jerseys like this, and this one's cute. It's got a little pocket so you can put your key in it. I live out where there's no sidewalks, so I'm a crazy person, and I almost ran over a deer this morning. So you don't see people on the shoulders. So I got this, and I don't know if it's charged up, but it's just a little vest that you could put on. So it's bright yellow, it's got reflective stuff on it, and there's a button somewhere on it that this will light up. It's got LED lights on it, and it will blink. So if I'm out, because it's winter time and it's dusk or dawn, and people don't notice my bright yellow clothes, they'll see the lights flashing, and the deer should see it and stay away from me. I don't see here's the LED button, so you can see it's got LED lights. And then it's kind of really nice because it's got a little USB cable, and I can just charge it up when I'm done. And I just hang those up on the door when I leave, or so when I come in or when I leave. Another thing you might want to have is, in the summertime, just a nice hat. So a lot of times when you sign up for 5Ks, you get great swag. So this one's from the Mount Mercy 5K, and I always wear a hat in the summertime, keep the sun off my face and the heat off my head. Other things that may help you. I really like to have water when I'm running, no matter what. I know a lot of runners that never use it, but I love having it. Even if I'm just outside for 20 minutes, I just like to know I have it. So there's these great things that you can buy. I think this one I won it in some race. I'm not a fast runner. I just was the fastest person in my age group that day. So this It's a little handle and you stick your hand through it, and it's a water bottle. So I can just fill it up as much as I want and I can drink the whole time. I can put my phone in the pocket. If I'm, want for whatever reason my car keys with me, I can stick them in there, or a credit card or $5 or whatever. So that's really nice. I love this. If you want to carry your phone, they make those armbands. I don't like the armbands as much as this. It's just like a little clip. You can put it right around your waist and stick your phone in there. And that way if somebody calls you, you could answer it. It's waterproof, so that's nice too if you don't have like the brand new iPhone. So those are just kind of some things that might help, like either in the summertime or just to keep you safe from traffic. I said a good pair of running shoes, and you should go to like Runner's Roost or Fleet Feet and have somebody examine, watch how you run. They're wonderful there. They're so helpful, and that way, you're not like ordering something maybe off the internet or just at Dick's that feels good when you're on your feet standing in a store, but not while you're running. So go to a good running store. Also, so now it's 35 degrees outside today, and when it starts to get colder, how do we dress? I think that it's always good to overdress in layers that you can peel off. So for instance, in any time of year, you want to dress like it's 20 degrees warmer. That's what you want your base layer to be. So if it's 35 and I start to run, I'm going to feel like it's 55 outside. So I'm probably going to need to peel some layers off. So it's better than just like wearing one heavy thing or a t-shirt with a heavy coat. That you'll be kind of too hot with the coat and you definitely can't take it off. So we'll talk about some layers. So for instance, I dressed that way today. So I have like my race t-shirt on underneath. And then, so this would be what I would wear to be comfortable like halfway through my run. I've got a nice heavy, like a thick fleece thermal layer over that. I would wear a hat or at least something to cover my ears and gloves. And then I have, so my shoes that I have on, they're great there for winter. They're Gore-Tex. You can get special shoes just for the weather if you want. And then though to go outside for like the first half of my run, I would definitely take something like this. And if you don't have like all this, I've been running for like almost 30 years. So I have a lot of stuff. But this has got like it's fleece and then it's got a windbreaking material on it. So I always start with something like this, and then halfway through my run I get really hot and I just take it off. You're always better to wear too much and take it off. You might see a lot of things in the store like, compression socks. I get a lot of questions about that. So I'm running, I got hot, and I can just take it off and do this. And, if I want to take my ear things off, I can just put them in my pocket. So I love that for that. So a lot of times people ask me questions about compression gear. And the research on that's kind of neither here nor there. If you like it and, you want to wear those high compression socks, you think that it's going to help you, have at it. And you want to spend the money on it, go ahead. But if you're not sure and you just think you need it, you probably don't, but if you want to try it, go ahead. There's kind of a neither here nor there on that. That's kind of all you would need to know about just going out to run. So if you're going to go to a 5K though, your first 5K, there are some other things that I would bring. I would bring a towel just to get yourself kind of wiped off and cleaned up, and at least you could sit on it, especially if it's a hot day or if it was raining. You could put it down in your car seat and sit on it before you go home or before you head back to the little after party and have, some pop and chips or something. I would also suggest that you have just something to make you feel a little bit better, because if you've never tried running fast and something happens in a 5K where even if you have no intention of running fast, you wind up running way faster than you thought you would. So a lot of times your calves or your shoulders, something, your quads are a little bit sore. And so while you're standing around and talking to people, it's kind of nice. And it's kind of like a nice thing just to have on you, because people if you want to make friends, people come up and say, hey, what's that? And you can show them all your sore spots, or maybe you could let them, wipe it off and let them borrow it. So those things are kind of nice. There's also little ones. This one's called a soothe, and it's just a little marble. And you could lie on it. A lot of times people get piriformis syndrome, so you could sit your butt on it and kind of roll around. You could have somebody roll it on your shoulders. But they're just nice little things just to have, and they cost like $5. So do you need anything to run? You need sneakers. That's it. How to dress becomes a little bit more important, so I'll put my chair full of things over here. Go to a good running store, like Runner's Roost or Fleet Feet, and they will get you situated with the things that you absolutely need, which are running shoes, and kind of help you from there. So after that, where do I run? It's 35 degrees outside. You want to run outside. We have a great park system. There's Como Park is probably one of the best places because it's very flat if you're a beginner. It's also they do a great job of, cleaning up all the ice and snow. Chestnut Ridge is great, but it's very hilly. So if you're not used to that and you're not up for it, and also if you decide to go in the back up the hills and the trails, it's not plowed, it's not always plowed clean. But it's a great challenge. So if you're up for a challenge like that, go ahead. There are some great places you could try. The nature, like Rhinestein Woods, or we call it Lawson Park down where I live. You go right through the woods. I would just tell you to be really careful on those wood, they have these little wood bridges to connect the trails. And when it's wet, they're very slippery. So I would avoid running on that, but it's a beautiful way to just sort of wake your body up, see birds, see deer, see a lot of nature. So try the park systems. If you're not up for being outside, there's always treadmills. They are great. You can watch your favorite TV shows if you have to. So you can go to your gym, you can run on a treadmill. There are gyms like the Y. The Ys have tracks, so Southtowns and Williamsville have an indoor track, and they're fantastic. So does UB. You can get a little community membership and use the UB indoor track. So there are indoor ways to stay fit as well. If you're going to run outside on the road, you want to stay facing traffic. So you're going to be on the left side of the road, like you're in Britain. You're always running facing traffic, so you can see people coming towards you. That way, if somebody's not paying attention, you can just get right out of the way. If you're on a trail, let's say you go to Rhinestein Woods, you want to make sure that you stay to the right, okay? And if maybe there's a lot of people running and you want to pass somebody because you got fast, you tell that person that you're going to go on their left. So you give them a little warning, and that way we don't scare them, or we don't, try to push them off the trail. That's just proper trail etiquette for runners. So that's where to run. We talked about running outside. You could drink plenty of water before and after. If you're like me, you like to have your water with you. If you don't want to carry it in your hands, they do sell Camelbacks. And those are great too. I use those if I have to be outside for a long time. You want to make sure you're dressing in layers. We talked about that. Bring a flashlight or a headlamp if you're going to be out when it's dark, or be like me, get one of those flashy vests. Who cares if your kids think it's weird? Wear reflective clothing. So then we're going to get to some, kind of coaching. So should I run every day? The answer is no. No, we should not run every day. Even if you've never had any injuries, even if you feel great, it's a lot of repetitive motion, everything going this way. So when that happens and you do it all the time, every day, you're going to start to have adhesions and just overuse injuries or discomforts. And things things can nag and never become an injury for years until it's bad. So I would advise, and most people advise, you not to try running every day. So 2 to 3 days a week. If you want to run a 5K, you want to try to get up to 3 days a week of just consistent time on your feet, walk and running. The other days though, you should be doing something. Even if you don't want to do a 5K, you should just be doing some kind of exercise for 30 minutes a day, because that's your time to give something back to your body. So what do we want to do? You can walk, you can do Zumba, you could do, any sort of thing that gets your heart rate up for 30 minutes. Like I said, when you're getting your heart rate up, you should be able to talk, but not sing, okay? So it's going to help sharpen your mind. It's going to help keep your heart healthy. It's gonna, so you'll be able to train your heart to do what you want it to do when you're running without creating overuse issues in your body. So what are some really good ways to cross train? I mean, you could, like we said, you could swim. Weightlifting is really good, but it's not cardio. So I wouldn't supplement every other day with something like weightlifting or like yoga. But anything you could do that adds lateral motion. So if you like skating, that would be great. Cross-country skiing is good, especially if you have to go up hills, because that changes your gait. Dancing is great. Yoga is great, but again, it's not cardio. So you want to make sure that you're getting those things in. And yoga is great because you're getting that flexibility. But you also want to make sure that you're getting that cardio. So 30 minutes every day, no matter what. Let's just aim for that. And then aim for exercises that will strengthen. And then 5 of those days, you want to be doing some kind of cardio. So 2 to 3 are running or walk and running. And the other 2 could just be walking. That would be fine too. Especially if you're going to go to like a park and walk, because the terrain will be uneven. And that would be really good at strengthening your hips. So we'll talk about some of the other things, the other reasons before I skip this page, because I really want to make sure that we emphasize how not just for doing a 5K, it's so important to be doing that cardio and getting that exercise. And we said it'll give you a healthier heart, it'll give you stronger bones, it gives you better coordination and, sort of injury prevention. Sharper mind, it boosts your mood, you get better sleep, and you get more strength. So those are all good things. After that, we're gonna talk a little bit about I told you that your cardio means that you can talk, but you can't sing. So what qualifies as that? Like we said, Zumba, step class is great. Yoga and weightlifting don't count. A bar class doesn't count. But like kickboxing would count, and that would be great if you were gonna do a class. Swimming, just walking, playing tennis, playing soccer, all of those things count. Hiking counts. So anything that's rhythmic and dynamic where you don't stop, and you're not holding, you're not just counting repetitions and then you're done. So that's what cardio is. And it doesn't have to be intense, and it doesn't have to be hard, because the hard part is really the running. So all the other stuff is just to keep you healthy. After that, people usually ask me a lot of nutrition questions about running. So healthy eating totally helps. Healthy eating is like 80% of what keeps you healthy every day. But running is taxing, and it does take some things out of you. So I get a lot of questions. First, I'll go over just general nutrition. So think my plate, think half of your plate is fruits and vegetables, 1/4 of your plate is a lean protein, 1/4 of your plate is a whole grain or a healthy starch like a sweet potato. So do portion control. Don't think that just because you ran, like you can go get like a caramel macchiato and a muffin that's like 1,000 calorie like snack. We can't do that. So running isn't an excuse to sort of eat a whole bunch of unhealthy food. So do portion control. Sure, it's fine to have coffee and like maybe some Timbits, like a couple. That would be great. Like, so you do get to enjoy yourself, but we're not using this as an excuse to be able to eat whatever we want. So strive for 5 is another good one. That means you want to make sure that we're getting at least 5 fruits and vegetables a day. Those antioxidants will really help repair your cells. Make half of your grains whole grains. I would say try to make all of your grains whole grains if you can. or a healthy starch like a sweet potato or a good winter squash. Drink plenty of water, 8 to 10 cups a day, and eat a lean protein at every meal. If we're doing that, you're kind of covering all of your bases. So I'll get a lot of questions about do I need to take something before I run? Do I need to be drinking Gatorade while I run? Or what about those energy gels? And so here are all of those answers. If we're just running a 5K, you probably don't want to go run first thing in the morning having not eaten anything, okay? You're not going to feel great. Is it doable? Yeah, you would be fine. It's not going to hurt you. But you're not going to feel great when you're running. So a little bit of fuel is great, and you could just have a normal breakfast. You want to give yourself at least an hour and a half before you get up and try to do anything. 2 to 3 hours is a little bit better. During your run, for a half an hour, for 3 miles, like if you're walking at a comfortable pace, it might take about an hour, maybe a little bit more. So that's like a 3 mile pace on a treadmill, just to give you an idea. So you shouldn't be out there for too much more than that if you're taking it easy. If you're trying to run fast and you're like wicked fast, like one of the fastest people out there, you're around 20 minutes. So in that time period, your body has enough glycogen storage to sort of get you through it. You do not need to be supplementing with a Gatorade or anything like that. I mean, if it's 90 degrees outside and you are already dehydrated going into it, I would say maybe, but you're fine with just water. So if you want to just bring water, have at it, but you don't need anything extra. After your workout and after the run is really the time when cool things are happening in your body. So now your body's kind of depleted and it wants to restore and replenish those muscles. For 60 minutes after your workout, your body is in rebuilding mode and not in fat storage mode. So it's a great time to get a little bit of a carb in, so you can have a piece of fruit, something that goes into your body pretty fast, and that will help to replenish your muscle glycogen, which is where you're getting a lot of your energy for running. It's also a great time to get a good lean protein in, because that will help to build up your muscle stores. So as we get older, that's really diminished. So this is a good time to kind of force your body into keeping its muscle mass and keeping your coordination and keeping your balance. So 2 good options. You could get a protein shake if you want to do that, but you could also just have like a turkey sandwich. It wouldn't matter. So whatever your preference is fine there. And if you do decide to go look at my website and you have kind of questions about this stuff, go right ahead and type them in on one of the feedback things. Just ask questions and I'll get back to them. I'll answer them. So that is the nutrition for running. I want to talk about after your run, after your 5K, after your first run of the day, after your 3 runs a week. I want to make sure that you're stretching. So I'm going to kind of go on the floor and just show you a few stretches, some of the most important ones. The first one is knees to chest. So that is going to get your hamstrings. And you want to do most of your hamstring stretching from the floor because it's safer on your back. So you get on the floor, you extend one leg straight out, and you just ask your knee how far it wants to come to your chest. And we just hold here. You take a deep breath in, hold, and exhale. When you exhale, see if anything releases, anything comes apart. And just continue that gentle pressure, never forcing, just asking your body how far it wants to go. And after about 5 breaths of doing that, you can just gently switch sides. Take it easy on your body. Don't throw yourself into any of these things. And do the same thing. So that's the top part of your hamstring, where it comes towards your butt. And now we'll get the whole thing closer to your knee. So legs are bent. Straight leg comes up. And we're just going to point our toes towards our face. And then ask your leg how far it will come. Grab behind your knee. And just same thing. Really gentle. Ask your body how far it will go. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, see if it comes any further. And 5 breaths, switch sides. Once we've done that, we can do some glutes and some quads. So glutes I'll teach you here on the floor as well. So we're gonna do the same thing, knee to chest, but grab your ankle and pull it across. And so you're gonna feel your glute like crazy. So if you're into yoga, this is a lot like pigeon lunge, but you get to lie on your back. So same thing, 5 seconds, 5 breaths, same thing on both sides. And then we'll do quads. So quads can be tricky because your knees can take a beating. When you run, you might already have sore knees. So one of the best ways to do a really gentle knee stretch is just to put your shin on a chair and then lean back. So nice and slow, hold your abs tight, lean back. And that's it. And you just sort of same thing, see if it comes apart. If you don't feel a stretch there, you can always do something similar on the floor. So just start like you're a crab, bring one heel towards your butt, and push that knee towards the floor. Same thing. Just ask your body how far it will go, and look for some release on those exhales. So that is just a few stretches. Like I said, if you're considering something like this, just keep this video. Like, I don't know how you could save it or just like it, and then you can come back to some of those stretches. If you can't find it, you can always just go back to my website, email me, and I'll see if I can post some videos for you. I'm gonna just do a quick recap about this whole 5K thing. I think it's great. I think we've got a huge community in Western New York of people who maybe don't love running per se, but love the atmosphere of going to 5Ks, enjoy spending that time with each other, and they know that they're doing something healthy for their body. So assess your goals. Like, think about it. Like, do I want this to be part of my lifestyle this year? Why should I run? And kind of think about how important is how fast you run to you. How important is, are you improving and are your times getting faster? For some people that might be important, for other people it's really not important. So think about those things, because that will probably come up along your journey. And then as long as you know that, for instance, my goal is just to know that I'm always doing something good for myself, I'm getting my heart rate up, and if I sign up for a 5K, I'm more likely to do some training for it than if I don't. And that money is going towards charity. I'm gonna get a cool shirt. I'm gonna I meant to take this out in the beginning, but like when you're done, so this is from the Queen City Women's Marathon, and they always give you something fun, right? You get a cool thing. So it's all positive. So there's so many good reasons to do it that you just want to assess that, because it'll help you in terms of your goals. It'll help you get up on a day when maybe you don't want to go outside because it's cold and yucky, but you have to get some motivation to get on that treadmill or whatever it is you're going to do. Once you kind of know that this is what you want, then schedule it in your day so the day doesn't get away from you. And schedule in that cross training, because that's really where your fitness is going to blossom. If all you do is 2 days of running a week, it's not going to make a huge difference in your life. This has to be a part of a healthier you. It's just an overall lifestyle exercise change. Start slow. Talk to your body. Ask it what it can do. Don't try to push it through anything. Don't think you should be better than you are right now. This is about accepting what your body can do now and just going with the flow. And it's kind of amazing how you'll watch your body get better and better if you don't try to push it, if you do your stretching, if you drink your water, if you eat healthy. It's amazing what will happen. So run safely on parks and trails. Like if you're at the park, run to the right, wear bright colored clothing, run with a friend if you're gonna go to Lawson Park, don't run there alone, run with a friend. On the roads, you're facing traffic, so you're on the left side of the road. If you're on a treadmill, start slow. Put the little pin on you so that way if you slip or something, when that pin gets pulled off of the treadmill, the belt stuff. So you're not going to be in one of those YouTube videos flying off a treadmill. You're not going to be a meme. So wear brightly colored clothing if you're running outside. Don't be afraid to, hit up some of those running stores and, see what kind of swag you can buy yourself. Dress in layers in the cold, and you also want to think about your base layers or your summertime layers being about 20 degrees warmer than what the temperature actually is outside, because you're going to get warm. And so that's kind of the runner's rule. So if it's 75 outside, like maybe if it was 75 outside, I would wear capri pants just to go for a walk. But if I'm going to run, I'm going to dress like it's 95 outside and wear shorts, because I'm going to get really hot at 75, if that makes sense. So that's the end. Thanks for listening, and maybe I'll see you next week.